to the movies, yay!
We watched Mortal Kombat at home because why?
Because it's
We
on
wanted
HBO
to watch
Max.
it. Yeah. It's available via HBO Max, which
I
we
know.
already have. So we could have a choice to see it in theaters or at
Yeah.
home. And we chose at home because we didn't want to leave the house.
Because we can.
Because we can. Mortal Kombat. So...
Based on a true story that was made up from a video game.
If you're around our age...
Then you know what Mortal Kombat is.
Yeah, you know what Mortal Kombat is. So it's a video game where people fought each other in the game. And when I was a kid, it was considered violent, I believe.
Yeah. They've kept up the violence has only increased. It was like one of the first video games where, like, because it was a fighting game, except you could kill the other person. And, like, it was kind of, like, bloody. Even on 16-bit. Back in the day.
The graphics made it not
what
quite
it is
so...
as bloody as it is today on Xbox One.
Well, we not too long ago got a version of Mortal Kombat,
bad.
but you can like turn the like blood thing on or off.
But could you? Yeah.
And so I don't remember. I know it was an option. Anyway, so Mortal Kombat, that was the movie. They made a movie about this, and so we watched it. Go, wait, or skip.
I'm gonna say. I mean, it's hard because I was really excited to see this movie because I not only played the video game, the original Mortal Kombat, when it first came out on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, but also, listen, folks, I remember seeing the movie Mortal Kombat when I was like 17 years old with my friends in the movie theater. So I was excited about seeing this movie. Is this a great movie? No, it's not a great movie, but is it a pretty decent movie based on a video game? Yeah, okay. So I would say maybe just see it if you want. Can I just say that? See it if you want. It's not great, but I liked it, kind
That
of.
sounds like a wait.
See it. I waited to see it on HBO Max at home.
Well, you didn't have to wait, though. We saw it opening
I did
weekend.
have to wait. Pardon, ma'am, it came out on Friday. I saw it on a Sunday. Okay.
But where's the opening weekend?
I waited.
Okay. I am also going to say wait on this movie if Kelsey indeed just said wait. I'm going to say wait on this movie because here's what I'm going to tell you. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was watchable. I'm going to give it that thing. I think it's a watchable movie. I have no nostalgia for Mortal Kombat. I did not grow up playing Mortal Kombat. I didn't know there was already another movie about this video game that had been made 20 years ago or something. So I didn't have any nostalgia. Actually, as the movie was unfolding, Kelsey would kind of be like, oh, that's this character or that character, because I wouldn't know that they were characters from the video game. Yet, I still enjoyed this movie. So let's get into spoilers.
Let's get into spoilers. Rachel, how many video game characters have you seen thrown in a movie at one time? It was a lot. It was a lot of characters.
It was a lot.
A lot of them. I'm saying like they went deep. It's not like they just went on the original Mortal Kombat roster. They were pulling people that I've never heard of, because they're from more recent games. I'm like, who's this person? Oh, it's this, because they have a whole universe of Mortal Kombat characters to pull from, and chances are they try to get them in this movie.
Yeah, they did, but it was somehow done well. Like, it didn't bother me.
It reminds me a little bit of Zack Snyder's Justice League, in that there were some things in Zack Snyder's Justice League that happened where, like, the Flash running back in time, for instance, where you're like, well, I knew that Flash could do that because we watched the TV show and, like, I used to read the comics, but it didn't seem like that was very earned in the movie when it happened.
Right, they didn't really explain it.
If you're just like some rando off the street.
Yeah.
This movie I thought was kind of similar.
Okay.
And that people would pop up and I'd be like, oh, I know who that person is because I played the games or whatever back in the day. But I think they were just kind of like, and then they would be like, I am this person. Like they would say their name and like weird. There was exposition in the movie. They had to do it, but
yeah.
I don't know, but in a way, like, it was entertaining,
I would say, like, I went into the movie with pretty low expectations, and then I kind of just took it as it came. I just accepted. Like, the movie has an on-screen text, a graphic to start. We got bad guys, we got good guys, and this is what's going to happen. And so it's very simple. They just say it, and then, so you just accept it. you're like, okay, I'm just going to accept that there is an outworld and there's different realms. I don't know why these people hate each other. Like, I don't know any of that. I'm just going to accept that this is all happening and just move on from there. What I noticed, because we very recently also watched Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, no. Kong versus...
Godzilla's the A side.
Yeah. versus Kong. And I was like, this movie, Mortal Kombat, in a way is better than that movie. Rotten Tomatoes does not agree.
Well, yeah, the human people in this are better.
So
than
that's
the
the story of this movie is much better. Now, you don't get Kong versus Godzilla kind of action and that like spectacle. So I think that's what like won people over with that movie. But the story, the human people in this movie, it was a story, and I was engaged the whole time. I watched the whole thing to the end. And at the end, when it's clearly set up for a sequel, I was like, I'm excited for the sequel. And we got into spoilers, right? This is spoilers. Yeah. I don't even know who this Cage guy really is, except he must be a popular guy on the game.
Yeah, he's the guy that you're like, why isn't Johnny Cage in this movie? That's messed up. You know? And then...
Because when the movie started, I thought the guy that is the descendant, like the guy who's kind of the main character, I went, oh, he must be the most popular character on the game.
He wasn't even in the original game.
And I didn't even know that. So I just assumed. Then it got to the end, and I remember people saying, I remember that Cage name.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, I've heard that. And it had I'm sure it had lots of fan service, but even for somebody like me, it had some fan service. I heard fatality. I heard...
Test your might.
What's the guy's name? Kano? Kano wins?
Yep.
Like he's
like, Kano wins!
No.
That was a pretty good impression.
Hello. He said it in the in the fatality voice.
Fatality. There were no babalities.
I don't know what a babality is, and I'm scared to ask.
I think in the second game, instead of fatality, like you could do a code for a babality, and it would turn the person into a little baby, and it would be like babality. Okay. They would be like caca. It would be like babality. It's so stupid, but it's true. Look it up. It's true.
Now I'm really glad that I do know, and I am kind of disappointed that I didn't get to see a babality.
Maybe there definitely needed to be a babality in the second. Babality. And they'd be like, Gaga! And then be like, babality. Instead of fatality. It's so stupid, but it was so good. It was just fun, Rachel. It was a good movie.
So I don't know that this movie had anything edifying or anything I can be like, well, here's the thing that I can take out of this. It was, teamwork, learning to, like, trust yourself, like finding your own strength, right? Like, I guess our main character did that. He kind of thought he was, like, not good enough. He was never going to, like, win again, never be, like, the MMA fighter he was. And then, he went on his personal legend, right? Found his inner strength and
babality.
Yeah, so I'm stretching to find stuff.
Video game
I think
movie.
Somebody smarter than me could probably pull out all kinds of stuff, but I think the point is that I enjoyed this movie and it was fun and I was engaged all the way to the end.
But it wasn't a very good movie, right? I can't be like, oh, this was a good film. I think it was content that I enjoyed watching, partially because of nostalgia, but also because it was.
Well, I feel like it's on the same level. We recently watched Thunder Force with Melissa McCarthy that was released on Netflix. I think that there's a level of movie out there that is like that. I'm going to say that Kong versus Godzilla is like the same
level, yeah.
Same kind of level, except that it had this massive spectacle of seeing those two creatures fight on the big screen that we've just never had historically. So that was like quite amazing. And I think maybe that's what puts that movie like a little over. But like Thunder Force, Mortal Kombat, silly rom-coms, like all these movies kind of fall into that category. Okay. So I think it's there. I think it's watchable. Get yourself some snacks and watch it. Yeah, definitely. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time we see a movie.